Tonight on Parker and Parker, on this eve of Game 4, the Boudreau backtrack.
It's a fabulous place to play. It is.
But expect no garden party for Gabby. The difference in the series so far? Try Caleb Green. A fan favorite for sure. He'll join us live. And where were you when this was racing up the charts? She was playing the keyboards, and she'll chime in live. Pump it up. Sports Talk with Parker and Parker starts now.
I was livid. I said, you can't do this.
This is Wicked Garden by Stone Temple Pilots, which frankly, Julie Parker, Stone Temple Pilots are perfect for hockey because they're angry. They appear to have facial hair.
They're right in your wheelhouse.
They're right in my wheelhouse. The reason the garden reference is because the Caps, Game 4 in Montreal, duh. Sorry, Caps fans. Game 4 in New York at Madison Square Garden.
Are you nervous because you're on TV?
I'm not nervous at all. Hey, everybody, we are Parker and Parker. I'm Alex. What I'm trying to say.
I'm Julie.
She's Julie.
Thanks.
I'm going to say this, Julie, until I get it right.
Go.
Game 4 at Madison Square Garden.
New York.
In New York tomorrow night. And the garden thing has become a big topic over the last 24 hours.
Because basically Boudreau called it a dump.
Bruce Boudreau kind of threw the garden under the bus, as they say, yesterday. And then today he tried to make up for it.
Well, it is kind of a dump. It's old and they're going to do away with it, and it's
in hockey
kind of
series,
jumpy.
I don't think you decide to start throwing the other team's arena mid-series. You want to win the series and then do it? Fine. I don't know that this was the best time to throw darts.
I think it's a good calculated move. Put all the attention on that.
Get the Rangers fired up?
No. To get the now they've lost a game. So let's get our heads back in the game. Let's put all the media spotlight on that.
Smart. You're smart.
Thank you.
Julie Parker, smart.
Well, if the Rangers are at all bothered by Bruce Boudreau's remarks, they're not saying too much about it. They are gearing up for Game 4 in New York and trying to even things up with the Caps. But everything that is being said is magnified in the media.
You guys mustn't have a lot of work to do.
Bruce Boudreau was asked repeatedly today about his comments yesterday to a local radio show regarding Madison Square Garden.
It's nothing. The locker rooms are horrible. The benches are horrible.
Today, a bit of a backtrack.
It's a fabulous place to play. It is. The atmosphere is great. It's the world's most famous arena.
Back to the radio interview.
Also, our building is a lot louder, too. So, I mean, they can say what they want, but it's not that loud in there.
Today,
was I just supposed to say, you know what? The Rangers building is so much louder than our building. It's, I can't tell the decibels. They might be equal.
Boudreau's comments made big headlines in the Big Apple. Might this be bulletin board material for the Rangers and their fans?
Then so be it. Let them use it as a bulletin board. I think you guys make it more out of anything than not.
Your thoughts about Boudreau's comments about the garden and the quiet crowd?
I don't really have any thoughts about about what he said.
You think a Ranger player is going to play harder because the coach of the other team said his home team building is a little louder? If it takes me to talk about a building to get an athlete more jumped up, then we're in trouble.
One advantage our hockey fans here have over the ones in New York, the quality of our anthem singers.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight?
Master Sergeant Caleb Green is a soloist with the United States Army Band. He's often called upon to sing at important sports events, and so far, during the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Caps are 2-0 when Caleb sang pre-game.
He's the difference.
And 0 for 1 when he didn't.
He's the difference.
Caleb Green, welcome to Parker and Parker. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's all you, right?
I wish it would.
Forget Ovechkin. It's all Caleb Green. We got to get Caleb Green going in this series.
If I could skate, it'd be dangerous. I can tell you that.
Thank you so much for being here. I was there Wednesday. I was there Friday. When you get up and sing, it's awesome.
Well, thank you.
That's what it's like for the 22,000. What's it like for you?
total focus. It's something that I have to do to, one, to get our fans fired up, but also have a tremendous amount of honor and respect that I put into singing the anthem. I don't do anything fancy. I keep it in the box, and I make sure that it's a solid rendition to represent our organization, because it's shot around the world, you know, and we want Washington to be top notch at every time we're represented in that way. So
how did you get that job? Because Alex had actually auditioned, but no.
Well, in all actuality, my battle buddy Bob McDonald, who also sings the anthem for the Caps, he asked me, man, maybe 10, 11 years ago, hey, how would you like to sing? I was like, sure. You know, I wasn't not interested, but man, hook, line, and sinker, I'm in, sold out.
Do you get nervous still, or no?
Yes. I get so hyped up sometimes I have to close my ears because it's so loud I can't hear.
And when you, at the end, we show that video of you singing, at the end when you go, let's go Caps, you mean it, you are into that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to skate, but I can't. So I just did my part.
You've done this probably hundreds of times. Just for the Caps alone, I understand you've also done the anthem at big functions, President Obama, an inauguration function. Do you ever mess up? I mean, not Roseanne Barr mess up, not Carl Lewis mess up, but in your mind, do you leave one to go, I butchered that even though none of us would notice?
Yeah, I'm dissatisfied sometimes, but you know, like you said, maybe nobody else would know it, but for me, maybe it's a breath or a phrase, but not for public consumption.
That happens to me too sometimes. Yeah. Just a breath. Just a breath. You're going to stick with us.
Absolutely.
You can't leave.
We had a debate on the radio on Sunday regarding the national anthem. We're going to get into that, and we'll bring that up with Kalen. Coming up, more of our conversation with the Caps' favorite crooner, Caleb Green. Plus, how much is too much when you're pumping gas? You'll hear about one New York driver's ghastly experience at the pump when Parker and Parker continue.
At home, Caleb does an unbelievable job.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good tune-out with Caleb so far.
Yeah, I think that they might bring him back for Game 5.
Oh my God.
Caleb, that was John Carlson, Caps defenseman. Are you singing Game 5?
I do not know. I think my battle buddy's up, but it's a team effort.
Okay.
Maybe a duo might be in order. A duet.
It might. If it comes back 2-2,
we considered
might need both of you.
You did consider that?
We considered that. I don't know what the organization has in mind, but yeah, if they need me, I'll be there.
We might have to call Mr. Leonsis on this.
We do a radio show, Caleb, on Sunday on 106.7 The Fan, and somehow the anthem came up, and then we got to the point where I'm there on Wednesday and Friday. It happens every game. You're singing or anybody singing the anthem, and when the word red comes in for the Caps, 20,000 people say red, and then when O comes on, and this started with the Orioles 30 years ago, O, does that bother you? Does it affect you while you're singing when everybody just sort of, for lack of a better term, interrupts?
It doesn't bother me, and I'll tell you why. Our fans are engaged, and it's not a disrespectful thing to the anthem. It's really an affirmation. And the red, you know, rocking the red, that's why I wore it tonight, because I represent them and I do my best. And if you have that kind of passion in the building, our team is pumped up to play, even better. I've seen them. When they come around the ice, and it feels like cars passing you by on the highway, because these guys are big and strong, and the wind is like, you know, we do our part.
We talked to people on the radio, and at least one man who served in the military said that's why it didn't bother him that people yelled during the anthem. He said that's why he served in the U.S. military, was to allow people to do this sort of thing.
That's absolutely true. Not many people have the perspective that we have to come from overseas, to come from a foreign nation, and to come home and to drive past the Capitol and see the flag of the United States flying high. So if they want to sing red and O, go for it.
When you got here, you showed Julie and I a picture of your family on your iPhone.
Absolutely.
We know a pretty family when we see one here on Parker and Parker. We immediately called the graphics department and said, can you make this look at how many kids do you have?
We have 7 children.
Wow. Good for you.
How do you have time to sing?
Really?
I have to sing because I have 7 children.
When you call them for dinner, what does it sound like?
Nope. My wife is real sweet, and she kind of handles that. But if Dad has to get involved, here's a little oomph behind it.
Can they sing?
I have a couple of singers, but we have mostly instrumentalists. So we have drummers, we have guitar players, and my 7-year-old daughter, she has the sweetest voice. Just to listen to her sing, that's amazing.
Really?
Oh my God.
Do you have Caps
We'll have
fans?
her on.
Do you have Caps fans in there, in that brood?
Every last one of my children is a Cap fan, by choice. And, you know, if I had to go, you know, get a little roughing call on them, you know, to make it that way, then we would. But no, they love the Caps. They fight over who's going to go to the game.
We like a little hockey fighting here on Park.
I don't, but she does. Caleb, thank you so much for joining us,
It
man.
is my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. My pleasure, sir.
I better do this.
Okay.
No, Master Sergeant, I'm doing this. I'm
It's
not
all
doing the
good.
fist pump. Thank you, boss.
We hope to hear you on Friday.
We'll
You
see
and Bob. You and Bob.
Thanks so much, my man.
Coming up, a music anniversary most of us have forgotten, except, shockingly,
Except for me.
except for Alex.
I
We'll
bet you
hear
Caleb
from
remembers this. I guarantee you he remembers this.
the better half of one of the 70s most popular pop duos. Stick around for more Parker and Parker. Captain's Orders next.
Singing a song, don't mess around, you just gotta be strong, just stop, 'cause I really love you, stop, I'll be thinking of you, look in my heart and then love you. Love will keep us together, think of me, babe, whenever.
If you're new to Parker and Parker, we need to let you know that intermittently we vamp off of sports. When I say intermittently, I mean
Always.
usually. I'm a history buff, and on this day in 1975, this song, Captain and Tennille, Love Will Keep Us Together, Jewel wasn't born yet, frankly. This song debuted on the charts, on its way to being #1, and I have loved this song now for 30, whatever it is, a long time. Joining us on the phone, Julie Parker, is Toni Tennille, the captain's better half. Toni, you've probably never been on a sports show before, I'm guessing.
Well, not really. The only thing I ever did was play a little golf. So I've never been on a sports show.
Toni, in doing my research for this interview, I noticed a pattern.
Okay.
Allow me this. I looked over some of the many hit singles that you and the captain had.
Yeah.
Muskrat Love, The
Right.
Way I Want to Touch You.
Yeah.
You've never done it like that.
Yeah.
Do that to me one more time.
Yeah.
I'm
This is
picking
a
up on a
PG
trend.
show. This is a PG show.
You
Toni.
really love the captain.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sitting here looking at him. He's over there eating the dinner I just made for him.
What's for dinner in the Captain and Tennille house tonight?
Well, it's all vegetarian right now. It's it's so boring you don't even want to know.
Toni, can you believe it's been what? It's been 36 years since you and the captain were doing that stuff?
Absolutely, and it does seem a long way away when I think about it. You know, we live in Prescott, Arizona right now, which is up in the high country, north of Phoenix, and it's beautiful here. It's a small town. It's wonderful people. It's lovely, and it seems so far away from what we used to do. It's just unbelievable.
You went to Auburn, Toni. Are you still a fan?
Well, of course, War Eagle. Yes, my dad went there before me. He sang with the Auburn Knights Orchestra, which I then did when I went to Auburn.
So it's in the genes.
It's in the genes. It was in the genes, absolutely. And my sister, who sang backgrounds on Love Will Keep Us Together, just about all of our hits. Louisa just moved here to Prescott.
Toni, are you still performing?
You know, Daryl has a condition called essential tremor, which is really wrecked his keyboard playing, and so he's not comfortable, doing that. So we don't do that anymore. But I did do a lot of big band and symphony work on the side. So once in a while, I will donate my services to the big band or the local symphony here to raise money for education for kids.
Alex said, Toni, that he found out that you had sung backup on Pink Floyd's
Yeah.
The Wall?
That's my claim to hypness. Oh, yeah.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Pink Floyd, and then also, of course, Elton John. If you listen carefully to Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, for example, you will hear my voice in there in the middle of the chorus.
Toni, my mom would kill me if I didn't tell you that She Says Hello. I'll give it away. I was 8 when this song was out, and my mom and I just love this tune, and I still like it. And it obviously holds up in 2011.
I remember when it first came out on the radio, when we first heard it on the car radio, on the big top 40 station in L.A., we almost had a wreck listening to it. It was so exciting. But it popped through the radio. It just popped through and caught your ear. So we kind of knew it had a shot at it. We just hoped it would make it, and it did.
Who's your favorite performer right now, Toni, before we let you go?
Oh, my gosh, my favorite one right now. That is so hard to say. I've got to tell you, I don't really know a lot about current pop music. I don't know a lot that rap.
You're like Alex.
Kind of thing. Huh?
You're just like Alex.
Am I? Oh, Alex,
Yes.
you and me, honey.
There we go.
I hate to say that because it makes me sound like such an old fart, but I guess I am.
Toni, thank you so much. Happy anniversary.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm so glad you remembered. It was great to talk to you, Julie.
And wish the
Alex.
captain the best for us.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Toni.
Sweet.
Up next, you're just like her.
I
Up
had a
next,
crush. I still have a crush.
You still have a crush.
Still have a crush.
We're putting the wraps on this muskrat-infested version of Parker and Parker. We're getting an update on the Torpedo of Victory tour from DAR Constitution Hall with Stephen Cheetah. Can Charlie Sheen continue his winning ways in D.C.? Details next. Make sure you join us on the radio on Sundays at 10 a.m. on 106.7 The Fan. We take your calls, your texts, your tweets. You can catch us on Twitter at Parker and Parker, all one word. We're on Facebook at the same address. Well, right now we want to turn to a topic that Alex knows oh so well, and that would be
Charlie Sheen.
He's winning.
He's winning. That's all I know.
And he's
nuts.
in Washington. He's arrived, albeit late. We turn now to ABC7 reporter Stephen Cheetah, who's standing by at DAR Constitution Hall with the latest on the late guy. Stephen, what's up?
Charlie Sheen, Julie, he never fails to surprise. He arrives here a full hour late. Usually you expect stars to hunker down and head right into the performance venue. Well, we've got some video here of him arriving. He surprises us all. Instead of going into the hall, he turns around, he walks right up to his fans and us, and then he shoots the breeze for a little while. You know, we asked him some questions. This is what he had to say. Didn't say much, but he said this.
So you don't know how
just landed. Yeah, we had a police escort, and we ran more red lights than Brooke Mueller heading to a pawn shop.
Brooke Mueller, his soon-to-be ex-wife. They were in court earlier today, and of course, some video has surfaced on TMZ showing her pacing a pawn shop and then subsequently failing to take a drug test. Now, down here, a very diverse group of fans, I have to tell you about. The one thing they seem to share with their star is an affinity for tobacco. A lot of cigarette smokers down here. We heard a lot about Tiger Blood and winning, and right now the show is going on in there, and we'll be hearing from the fans shortly to see if it was worth the wait.
And this wasn't a sellout, right, Stephen?
No, it wasn't a sellout. I mean, they were saying, oh, yeah, it's great. The tickets have been selling, have been great, you know. So we said, well, is it a sellout? They said, well, no, you can still get tickets. Then there was some talk about them giving away some tickets. I don't know. There was a lot of Twitter conversation going on and people saying, oh, they're giving away tickets now. But I'll tell you, there were a lot of people here. Again, a very interesting crowd. I mean, you got like preppy-looking people. You've got biker type guys and, you know, women in the stiletto heels and the, you know, it's really a crazy group, very different from like a Lady Gaga concert or something like that.
Stephen, how much media is there? Are the media outnumbering the fans at this point?
No, well, you know what though? I don't know. I kind of go by my instincts, and I thought, well, if you're going to get Charlie Sheen, don't go to the front of kind of. I mean, they don't walk in the front door. So we went around to the back, and sure enough, he pulled up back there. There were two other media outlets there with us, and they were both national media. So if there are other media, they're around on the other side. So we were in kind of an exclusive group.
And do you know how much the tickets cost?
Well, I know they were about $148, $150 for two of them. That's what people were telling me, that for two tickets, like $75. Those were orchestra seats, so I'm sure there was a range there. And you know, then a lot of them were for sale. You know, people who bought them and decided, this show's not getting such great reviews, so we'll try to dump them on Craigslist, and you could probably pick those up pretty cheap.
Stephen, thank you very much. I'm curious to see how this show turns out. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Two more things we need to get in before we're done. Gas prices. Everybody in North America is freaking out, and frankly, they should be. Here's my favorite story of the week. Julie Parker, guy goes to get gas in New York. Okay, we started talking about New York. This guy, he's pumping gas, right? Mid-pump, okay, mid-fill-up, pump stops. He looks at the deal. The price went up during the fill-up. This is how bad it's got.
Is that allowed?
I don't think so. He complained. He took it to, like, the Attorney General, the Surgeon General. He took it to some general. He got his quarter back. The 25 cents he got back. Although the owner of the gas station there says he will give him an entire tank full of gas, which nowadays, costs $700. In Germany, Julie Parker, they've got the right idea. Forget the gas. Office chairs, baby. This is the way to get around. Office chairs. Do we have the video? Look at these folks. The office chair.
He's on some sort of horse, though.
The office chair races. Here's how fast they can go. 35 miles an hour.
Until you wipe out.
Can you see this on 270? Yeah. Julie Parker in her office chair.
That's me.
Get out of my way. I'm going to breaking news. Look, I don't understand. I mean, come on.
At least they have helmets on or cowboy hats.
Very impressive. By the way, just to recap on Parker and Parker, Caleb Green, fantastic. Who would have thought Toni Tennille would be on Parker and Parker? And of course, Stephen Cheetah, thank you so much for the Charlie Sheen update.
That is it for this edition of Sports Talk. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Joe Corey at Faccia Luna for the terrific pizza. We love the Trenton. Check them out when you're in Arlington. For Caleb Green, Toni Tennille, and our entire crew, I'm Julie. He's Alex. Catch us on The Fan Sundays at 10 a.m. Have a great night. Take care, everybody.